Yo, 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 what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone messiah. It's not just me, Oos. I'm here with the Canadian Destroyer, BT Brandon Tanguma, here to recap the Royal Rumble. God damn it. It was a four-match card, two Rumble matches, two title matches, both singles and tag. Brandon, BT, what's going on, man?
What's up, Philip? Having a great day. We got a sick boy podcast today because it's the Royal Rumble. It's a big event. Brother came down from Stockton, didn't tell anyone he was sick, showed up, then everyone who attended sick. I'm not that bad, hopefully. I just started getting sick like yesterday, but I'm hoping I'm not too bad. Philip still trying to get over what he had last week, so we're gonna power through
Brother,
this. I'm not called Mr. No Days Off for no reason.
it may have been the flu. I've just found this out. I've never had the flu a day in my life. It's crazy. It's crazy. My grandma and mother got the flu. I've been around them, but I'm here. I'm back. I'm feeling better. I'm ready to kick out and do a whole bunch of things. There was a Royal Rumble that happened to kick this show off. Am I correct? Oh my goodness. The tea is ready. Not the news tea, but the hot tea that's on my stove. Started off with the Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble when I go tend to this tea real quick.
Oh, well, Philip tends the tea. I have my tea right over here, which means I'm sick, even though I'm a little baby and I can't really drink super hot stuff because I think I had this like 10 minutes ago and it's still too hot for me. But, anyways, yes, we have the Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble kicking off the Royal Rumble card, which I think that's probably happened like almost every single year except for the first one. But this one goes 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 20 seconds. We had Io Sky and Liv Morgan kick it off, being the first two. Then Roxanne Perez came out at number three. She ended up being the longest participant, setting the new record for longest lasting in a women's Royal Rumble at 1 minute, 7 seconds, and 40, or sorry, 1 minute, 1 hour, 47 minutes. Oh, pause. 1 hour, 7 minutes, 47 seconds. There we go. Only did get one elimination after all that. We had a couple surprises and returns, most notably. Um, we had Alexa Bliss come out at 21, unapologetically, undoubtedly the loudest pop of the night. Crowd went absolutely insane for her. There was all these rumors and innuendos that she was supposed to come back a couple weeks ago, then she didn't, and then her contract, they were far apart on negotiations. She was posting stuff on Twitter and Instagram saying she was just going to hang out with her baby. And she ended up showing up at 21, lasted 11 minutes and 1 second. Didn't get any eliminations, so technically didn't do anything, but just her presence and her coming back, I think, was enough. So yeah, good for her. She came back still dressed in the Fiend outfit, white six attire, whatever we're calling it now. Doesn't seem like she's going to be with the white six on SmackDown because I believe she's going to be a Raw wrestler. Jordan Grace, she made her debut, or I guess not debut, but she made her return to the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row, but this time actually as a WWE wrestler. She came in at 19, and I think she had a really good showing, facing off with some of the other top people in there. She got one elimination, and then Trish Stratus, Hall of Famer. Thank you, Trish. She came out at 25. Just kind of completely ignoring the last time we saw her that she was a heel. Uh, and at 30, Nikki Bella, she makes her return at entrant number 30. And a lot of these people were eliminated by Nia Jax. I wish I had kind of the stats in front of me on who. Oh, I guess I could just go to see how many eliminations Nia Jax had on the thing. That'd just be way too. She had 9. That is a lot, but I don't think that's a record. But some other notable names, we did have a lot of the big women's names from NXT come on down. As I already mentioned, Roxanne Perez. Roxanne was the one that eliminated Julia. So there you go. That's the one elimination there. Julia, Stephanie Vakir, Jada Parker, Lash Legend, and Roxy were the NXT wrestlers who debuted or made their return if they haven't already been on WWE TV already. And if you guys remember, I had been very tough on Lash Legend in the past, saying, and also BFAB, that they weren't really ready for TV, but especially Lash Legend, she in these last year has come along and has gotten much better in the ring. And she already has the character to back it up. So she has come a long way from her humble beginnings on NXT. Kind of bouncing around some other storylines. Chelsea Green, she was kind of the comedy relief. Piper Niven accidentally
All
eliminated
right.
her, but the winner, Brian's favorite. I wish she was here to talk about it.
Right?
Charlotte Flair.
I should have hit up Brian. I really should have. Listen, Alexa Bliss is back. 5 Feet of Fury, big pop. Hell of a pop out there. Hey, okay. You saw the NXT girl. Shout out Lash Legend. My mom's a Lash Legend fan now. And then Jada Parker, Miss Parker, Miss Parker. If that backlash hadn't come out about her, do you think she would have got a louder pop?
I mean, I think we live in an internet bubble that people might not exactly know what's going on.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
I
Uh,
mean Jada Parker, she's a name in NXT, but she's not like a big name like a
I don't know,
Julia,
man.
Stephanie Vakir, and
Well,
Roxy.
Stephanie Vakir, massive pop. Love to see that. Julia got a decent one too. Uh, yeah. The Women's Rumble was cool. It was cool, man. No Becky Lynch, no AJ Lee, like a lot of people had hoped.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. The
so
the
sad.
queen came out there and won that thing. And then after what we saw transpire on Monday Night Raw, we'll talk about that when we do our show, our podcast. But yeah, man, very very interesting stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've sung Charlotte's praises on this show. But and I kind of get what they're doing. I mean, are they trying to go like O2 Triple H? You know, I mean, think about it. Like Charlotte, she won everything. She always just won championships. Hunter was the same way, and then we got hurt, came back, and uh, won the Rumble, and went on to Mania and win the championship and whatever. Do you think they were trying to replicate that?
I mean, I don't know what exactly they're going for with Charlotte. She kind of is always best suited as a heel. She's kind of coming across as a babyface, but leak it into Raw, the crowd just kind of doesn't like they gave her a big pop because she made an entrance and she got the pyro and all that stuff. But I don't know. I mean, the Women's Rumble, I think this might be like they didn't lean too heavy on like legends and returns, outside of Trish and Nikki Bella compared to in the past. So I think this kind of showcases kind of the star power that the women's division has. They were able to fill out a 30-woman Rumble, and I didn't think there's too many dead spots. Now you could say, oh, they put a lot of NXT people in there to kind of fill all those voids, which is a fair talking point. But I thought it was a solid Rumble, and then kind of like the end, similar to the men's Rumble, it was like it came down to Roxy and Charlotte, and at that point you kind of know what was going to happen.
I mean, yeah. I mean, shout out Roxy. She did the damn thing. There were like some key women I noticed weren't in there. Like obviously there was no Jade Cargill. No Jade Cargill. Just other people you normally see on the product like Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Alba Fire and Ilsa Dawn. I don't know where they've been. And yeah, so I mean, but it all worked out for what it was, and congratulations to the Queen. Let's see what she does with it going into going into Vegas. Brandon, you going to Vegas?
I don't think so.
The
Maybe we'll
the
see what
flight
happens.
there is pretty cheap. The flight there is very cheap.
Well, it's not the flights that are the issues; it's everything else.
That's true. That's true, brother.
Philip, are you going to? Are you or maybe some guy named Sancho going to Las
Oh,
Vegas?
Flipperdoodle will most likely be in Las Vegas. WrestleMania weekend. It's a great time. Even if you don't go to WrestleMania, like there are people that go to WrestleMania weekend and just go to the shows and the conventions to have a great time with that. I'll be out there. I'll be around doing some things. I'm about to purchase some tickets this weekend. Yeah,
Okay. There you
yeah.
go. Breaking news. Say hi. Then second match, we had the 2 out of 3 falls tag team title match with DIY defending against the Motor City Machine Guns. We talked about it. If you're going to do a 2 out of 3 falls match, you kind of got to give them a lot of minutes, and they did not. Only 14 minutes in this one, and DIY retain after a quizzical finish to this one where the Street Profits attack the machine guns to cost them the win. So then DIY wins, but then they attack DIY after the fact. Like I kind of understand where they're coming from, of like they want to win from DIY, but it almost kind of felt like that Triple H booking of giving an excuse for the baby faces losing when the actual finish itself did make too much sense. Made them look dumb or whatever with the Street Profits they're doing.
Man, they want the smoke, but they it's not the fun smoke that they've been spewing all these years. They just they ready for business. They're tired of the fun and games. They ready to be champions again. And if they got to be more serious to do so, then so be it. That's what this is, man.
Like I said, I kind of understand where they're coming from because they're still mad about the attack and unable to get the championship match that they got on SmackDown a month or two ago. But I just thought it was kind of just a clunky finish. And once again, I felt like they could have just had a regular one-on-one match or one fall match. They give them 14 minutes. You could still do like the same finish, and it kind of works the same way. I just don't understand the whole 2 out of 3 falls, um, predicament or stipulation getting thrown here just
Well,
because.
I think what it was. Well, didn't DIY win one and Motor City won another? So, 2 out of 3 falls. Boom, there it is.
Bam. Hashtag analysis. But yeah, the match was okay. Action was good. I thought like the first fall that DIY got where they did like a fake tag and then Champa, I forget who he hit, but he hit his finisher on someone and then gets the pin. I thought that was a cheeky little finish, but uh everything else was fine. Nothing too much to write home about. Then we get the WWE title match and a ladder match. The Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed title against Kevin Owens' Winged Eagle belt, if it's really his, but whatever. This one goes 25 minutes, 5 seconds, and I very much enjoyed this match. I say this was the best match of the night. Just physical, not a high flying type of ladder match, but a just walk and brawl, physical, beating the hell out of each other. They win in the crowd. They win on the announce table and all the other fun stuff. And uh, I thought this was a hell of a match, Philip.
Absolutely. I just watched it, or I saw the highlights, but I really sat down and watched it early before we recorded this. I loved it. It's great. People really expected KO to do the that ladder spot he did with El Generico back in the day. All those ladders and then the package power driver. Now Cody Rhodes is a crazy son of a bitch. Let's not get it twisted. Under different circumstances, they probably would have done that spot, but nonetheless, the finish. I mean, the Alabama slam and then KO's head just being caved into that ladder on the ground, and I'm like, oh my goodness, him being busted open, and then the shot at the end of KO busted open, and Cody in the back holding up those two championships. Good work. Um, Sami Zayn coming out there to check on both of his friends. Oh, Nick Aldis and everybody else is out there checking on these two guys. Uh, it was physical. A nice way to cap off this story for Kevin Owens. And what the report come out that Cody's hurt ski?
I don't know. I didn't see anything about a Cody injury, but I mean, you're always going to get bumped up, and you're always going to get hurt in some sort of way during these matches. Sami Zayn came out came out of the match, didn't actually do anything. He just kind of like was worried for both of them and didn't want anyone to get hurt. And as you said, he kind of tended more towards KO than Cody. People are wondering maybe we're gonna get like a Cody Lander type character switch, not exactly maybe a heel turn. Maybe Cody's a little bit more, sinister, a little more diabolical. Still a face, but we'll have to wait and see, where they're going with his direction at WrestleMania. But I thought it was a good match and a fine finish to this feud that's been going on. Maybe a little too long, but I think they rounded it out quite nicely.
What can we say the best feud of Cody's run?
I mean, I would say most definitely just because I honestly there was not too much competition in this title run. It's been a tad bit disappointing, I would say, but finally he had something to chew on and something to fight over, and he delivered. So, congrats to both guys. And Obviously, we know where KO's going from now on, but we just have to wait and see what Cody and that title is going to do at WrestleMania. Then, final match, the big one, the men's Royal Rumble match. This one went 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 15 seconds. It's just me, or Royal Rumble's longer now. I feel like they were always like around the hour and 10 minute mark, hour and five, and now they're going 120. What the hell happened to the sport I love?
Well, you got all the drama going on. The drama in the cinema expands the time.
So we started off Rey Mysterio and Penta, the two luchadors, lucha legends, started off. Penta definitely did not touch both feet on the outside at like the first 45 seconds of this match, but that's neither here nor there. And then the other lucha legend, Chad Gable, comes out of three, and we go on from there. Uh, the match itself was a little low on star power early on. Was carried with the Akira Tozawa spot getting taken out, and ISHO Speed shows up, and Braun Breaker absolutely destroys that poor man
Killed
with
that boy.
with the spear heard around the world, went super duper viral. I mean,
Have you seen all the different angles?
yes, I don't know how the man's neck isn't broken, how he doesn't have a concussion, how
Brother, he didn't even brace the bump. He just took that shit. I was like, oh, that's crazy. You saw the cut he got on his leg? Was that from
yeah,
when he got tossed by the announce table?
I believe so. There's always those sharp edges, and look, that announce table looks fantastic. We've already got two injuries to it in like the last month it's been there. I think it's maybe we don't need the fancy table that has light up that has LED boards and stuff on it. Maybe we just go back to the disposable table that crumples automatically.
Maybe. That was crazy. Hey, tell me why when since I was getting carried back and Hunter's like somebody needs to replace him. People were like, "Is it time to play the game?" I was like, "All right." I mean, I would have loved it, but that's not where we're going here. The little celebrity spot worked out. I think he helped with one elimination, then got completely killed by Braun. So, um, yeah, that happened. Then let's talk about Jacob Fatu in this thing, man. Fatu just coming in all the face-offs that Jake had in this thing. I mean, Braun Breaker, AJ Styles, uh, Roman Reigns. I mean, just great for Jake, man. It's crazy. His first Royal Rumble was John Cena's last.
Yep, Fatu enters at 12, eliminates four people. As you said, some pretty notable names there. Ultimately gets eliminated by Braun Strowman, so clearly they're continuing that feud.
That was a little disappointing for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, so quickly, a week after the beatdown, brutal beatdown of Braun Strowman, he just comes back and then eliminates Braun or Jacob. But I mean, think about it. If you really want Jacob out of there, you're gonna have to do it with someone. I would have just been fine if it was Roman, but obviously they went the other way. Um, but yeah, then we get Joe Hendry at 15. He was the big surprise, even though he wasn't really a surprise. At 15,
Massive pop.
the TNA World Champion. And then
Say his name and he appeared, and then 16, you get the OTC. It was like, oh, you thought Roman would come in, 27 or 30, somewhere in between there. No, he just comes out early, and then he's out there for a nice bit of time, nice chunk of change, and
37 minutes, 15 seconds.
crazy man. The to see Roman Reigns in there with the TNA champion, with Pentagon in the corner, like what a crazy time we're in, bro. Really. Uh, I mean that's pretty good for Joe Hendry. I mean to be the TNA champ and get eliminated by the biggest star in the industry. That's a good little spot.
Yeah, second half really does pick up on the star powers. You said Roman comes in at 16, followed by Drew at 17, uh, Jey Uso at 20, and then 23, Cena, Punk, Rollins, Mysterio, Sami Zayn to round out kind of the big chunk of favorites. Uh, Drew McIntyre gets eliminated kind of unceremoniously, and this has kind of led to reports of him storming out and angry. I don't know. Once again, we don't know what the hell's true, what's not, but I would agree that kind of Drew seemed to be one of the maybe not favorites, but definitely think he'd be more of a focal point, especially with so many storylines he kind of had with everybody, and he just kind of got dumped out by Damian Priest, kind of unceremoniously, which was kind of kind of weird, I would say, in terms of like the story of the Rumble.
Yeah. It's like Hunter said at the press conference. Like all these guys are talking like they know, they don't know. Which is what I've been saying for years. These mofos don't know. Stop. Um, Braun Breaker getting eliminated by Roman. If you noticed, it was the way it was a callback to the 2014 Royal Rumble. No, the spirit of Batista, and then the misdirect quick throw out. So I like that. And then let's talk about the cinema for a second. Let's talk about the cinema for one quick second. You have Roman Reigns in there, and then Cena's out there, right? And then Punk is out there, and you just three-way face off. And then Rollins' music hits, and he goes straight for Punk. Like, I mean, it was like three guys that defined certain eras and aspects of the business staring each other down, and then Rollins just came in there like a house of fire. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I thought that was probably like the peak of the men's Rumble when he kind of had all the names in there. It's like, okay, where everyone's in here, it's time to go. And Seth Rollins comes out and it kind of sparks everything, and then kind of the whole aftermath of Punk. I think I erroneously said, Jacob eliminated Roman, but it was CM Punk that eliminated Roman. And then, then Punk gets dumped out by Logan Paul, which Logan Paul comes out at 30. If you pay attention to who's announced and who's going to be in, Logan Paul at 30 was not a surprise, but it was like, okay, like Logan gets the 30 spot. It is what it is. And they kind of gave him also the Kofi Kingston spot of trying to save himself, which like athletically, I probably wouldn't be able to do what he did, but it wasn't like super impressive. And it almost kind of has like that Shane McMahon feel of like the guy who shows up once every couple months, gets to do everyone else's moves, which isn't the best to look, but you can always say he's a heel, so it's okay.
And then I mean, if we talk about this Rumble, bro, like it was stacked. No New Day, no Orton, no Solo. A lot of key players were not in this thing. You figured the New Day, at least one of them would have been in there given what they've been doing on TV.
That'd be just lose all the time.
I know, but still, I mean, the Kofi goes out there and tries to do his normal spot and it doesn't work and the crowd pops. I think that would have been something, but nonetheless, yeah, like CM Punk said, I've never lost to Logan Paul when he was on his SmackDown segment with KO and then gets dumped out by Logan Paul. And then the aftermath of that, Punk and Roman arguing on the outside, and then boom, a stomp to Roman, and Seth flips off Paul Heyman and then stomps Roman again on the stairs, and then Punk is just upset, and Heyman's like, "Look what he did! Look what he did!" What do you think about all that?
It was definitely was an angle, and I do wonder what they also had that shot in the ring of Seth kind of selling or whatever in the corner, then Roman right behind him in the other corner. I thought that was a fun little shot. I don't know if that's the direction they're going, if it's a Roman Seth or if it's Roman Seth and Punk, which I mean honestly, like Seth involved in either of those matches doesn't get me too excited. And even kind of saw it in the match itself. Like they kind of tried to tease some stuff with Roman and Rollins, and it didn't really get too much of a reaction. So I think what people want is they want Roman and Punk, or maybe like a little thing with Roman and Cena or something. And Roman and Seth is like fine. Like obviously it has the 10+ years of backstory behind it, but I just don't think that's a match people are clamoring for, like some other stuff.
That needs time to be really told, and I mean, and you can see like Rollins is still a trigger for Reigns. All these years later, Rollins has always been a catalyst in Roman's career. The breaking up of the Shield, he cost him the championship at WrestleMania last year. So it's a lot, man. A triple threat. That's an interesting way to go about it. I mean, we don't know. We still got to get past the elimination chamber and everything like that. So we got to see. But nonetheless, it comes down to the final two: big match, John, and main event, Jey Uso. This is Cena's last dance in the Royal
And at this
Rumble.
point, you're like, oh God, okay, Cena's gonna win. Like just like the Charlotte one. There's no way Jay's gonna win. This is Cena's thing to win, right?
And who was my pick?
Jay, so
Main
you would have made a pretty penny if you put a bet on that.
main event. Yes, sir. Yeet. Main event, Jey Uso. It was a simple thing, they're on the outside, they're on the apron. Cena lifts him up, is going, give him the AA. Jay just scoots out the back, lands in the ring, and pushes him. Boom. It was a simple mistake on John's part that cost him. Uh, I thought that was a nice way to do it. People have been criticizing the finish, and then there's been a lot of flack online. Y'all stop, man. I mean, look at what this man is doing, man. People are yeeting up a storm. There's a reason why they go to these towns, and he's with the most famous rapper they got in said town. There's a reason why he's with Travis Scott and all these guys, man. He's over like Rover, and he doesn't feel out of place when he's with these cats. It's Yeetomania. It's Yeet Mania. That's what we on right now, man. Congratulations to main event Jey Uso, the fourth member of the Anoa'i Samoan dynasty to win the Royal Rumble, and let's see if he can take it all the way to Vegas and win that championship, man.
Yeah, the finish was definitely a puzzling one because there was a long list of people we thought that could have won, and I don't think anyone outside of Philip had Jey Uso kind of on that list of possible winners. And like me personally, like I've said, like I'm not the biggest fan of Jey Uso, especially like when it comes to in the ring. I appreciate how over he is and his entrance and everything, but I'm also not like super mad at the finish either. Like there's people online who are like, "Oh my God, what the hell's going on? This is terrible." And like, yes, they use the verbiage of main event WrestleMania, and if it is Gunther and Jay, that's gonna be like the fifth match in terms of like total prestige and stuff on the night, and it might not main event because I think they probably want to main event a women's match night one and then whatever Cody's doing night two. So like yes, they use the verbiage of main event WrestleMania, but it's not really. And I think people kind of put too much of a pedestal on the Royal Rumble winning, and like you could have gone different directions. But the Cena story is not the fact that Cena is just going to get whatever he wants and he's going to go on, even though he kind of did do that with the Elimination Chamber. But it's the fact that he might not have it because he hasn't won in like however many years now.
Well,
So
let's talk about that. I mean, it depends on whoever Jay chooses, man. They can tell the story, and he. I think Jay can main event night one. He can do that. Did it with the tag titles a couple years ago. Like I believe he can get that singles WrestleMania main event underneath his belt, and then with John Cena, man. He didn't ask any questions. He just simply basically cut a promo like, "Look, um, yeah, he basically said without saying it, like, all right, I'm tired of being nice, so this is what's gonna happen. Uh, he feels as 20 years in the company, like I really don't gotta ask for ish, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm in the elimination chamber. That I'm gonna punch my ticket to WrestleMania, and I'm gonna win. My 17th championship. So yeah,
yeah, I mean, I still think Cody and Cena is on the table. I'm still not like super convinced that's a great idea just because Cody or even like in the match itself, like we can Cena did look great. Like he kind of was doing once again his like over the top facials and kind of like over not selling but just kind of like over emoting during the match. Physique wise, he's older. He's had a lot of muscle for these last 20 years, so he's not going to look like Cena in 2006. But he's definitely slimmed down in his acting years. So I wasn't like super impressed from like the however long Ceno's in there. He's in there for a half hour, but I don't think there was anything like super memorable he did for like long stretches. It's a rumble. People get like their 30 seconds and they get out of frame.
bro, what are you talking about, bro? He took a splash from the greatest luchador of all time, Dominic Mysterio.
Sorry, outside of that.
Come on, now, stop playing. I love how Dominic just came in there with all these stars. Like, yeah, I belong here. Great stuff by Dirty Dom. Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see where we go with Big Match John and all this. Because if he doesn't win the chamber, then I don't know where we're going.
Like I said, you don't need John Cena's last WrestleMania match to be for a title.
You don't. You don't.
It's his last WrestleMania match that sells itself, and you can have him go for 17 somewhere else on like a B level pay per view or a SummerSlam.
We'll do it in France. He speaks
All right.
French. We'll do it over there. We will do it over there. Mm.
Well, that's it for the Royal Rumble talk. Even though
Yep.
I was not like the biggest fans of like the finishes of either Rumble, I still thought it's the Rumble. I thought it was a really good show. We give grades around here, Philip. I'm gonna give it an A minus. I thought it was a fun show to watch, as most Rumbles are. It wasn't, those 14, 15 Rumbles where it was just a catastrophe. It was a good time, and I thought it was an enjoyable show.
Yeah, no, I'll give it a name. Good stuff. Shout out to main event Jey Uso. Yeet. That's the pick. That's the pick, man. Who would have thought when I met him a couple years ago that I'd be standing next to the man that was going to win the Rumble in a couple years in main event mania. That's crazy. Shout out to Ooze for real, for real. Chill cat, chill cat. I hope. And have you seen the video of Jimmy and Jake congratulating him after he got back there?
Beautiful visuals, so great. Love to see everyone. Shout out San Francisco. They're built from there, and even though maybe they don't like, they have the ties, no doubt, but it's not like they like Bailey where they're like super Bay Area. But shout out the Usos, shout out everyone from the Bay, living it up. Love to
All
see
right.
it,
Jake really representing the Bay. Yada I mean is going to be a weekly thing on television.
as it
Come
should
on,
be.
come on now. Yeah, yes, sir. Hello. But yeah, no, congratulations to main event Jey Uso. Congratulations to everybody that performed at the show. Job well done by the boys and girls, lacing up the boots and doing it for our entertainment. We'll be back later on this week with an episode to talk Raw, to talk everything else, get into some AEW and some other things that are going on. Thank you guys so much. As always, be safe and stay dangerous. Yes, sir.